Hey, how are you? I'm Slice Botaku, and the battle against the diamonds displayed in the episode Reunited was epic in a multitude of ways. It goes without saying that this episode was incredibly visually captivating, as such action sequences and actual combat within Steven Universe are few and far in between. But something else worth taking note of would be the growth of our cast. From the very beginning of the series till this point, the characters we have come to know have matured and changed in many ways, which has been in most cases a very enjoyable ride. Reunited served to be a showcase of each character's respective development, which, when coupled with direct confrontation by the tyrannical matriarchs of Homeworld that we've been waiting years for, becomes insanely gratifying. The push for viewer satisfaction seems to have been a major objective the crew had in mind with this episode in particular, essentially dealing with a flock of birds with one stone. And for me, one of the most peculiar character developments displayed in this episode belongs to that of Lapis Lazuli. In the fight against Blue Diamond, the situation turned dire as standing against her became incredibly difficult due to her signature ability. And so the entrance of Lapis into the fray served to be an epic saving grace, saving the very same crystal gems she had come to resent, from the very same being that she was made for, and by association, the life she yearned to return to for millennia. Now, to be fair, this did come across as rather sudden considering the last time we saw Lapis was in Can't Go Back, where the mere mention of diamonds in Steven's dreams were enough for her to take off running and disregard any and all progress relating to recognizing her flaws and or being selfless for others. So for her to appear in this episode ready to fight completely over her previous issues made me feel a bit empty, let's say. As if the emotional complexity of the character was just too much to handle within the confines of the narrative in terms of recovery, while expression and the negative actions as well as feelings associated with her pain were not. And so I certainly hope that this doesn't conclude her path to recovery, as any sort of proper guidance represented by the character could go a long way in helping those who would relate to her sorrow and conflictions. But nevertheless, when Lapis stands with the crystal gems against Blue Diamond, we receive what I believe is just one of the best, worst lines of the series. When in contact with Blue Diamond's power, which had floored every other gem in the vicinity, Lapis says,
"I've felt worse."
Now, innately, in the spur of the moment, no doubt was this incredibly badass. This was certainly a moment intended to make Lapis look incredibly cool. But when you take a closer look at the situation and its implications, it may go from the best to the worst rather quickly. What Lapis is faced with here isn't some test of might devoid of emotional feeling. What she stands to and belittles is the unfiltered sorrow of Blue Diamond. Here, Blue Diamond is faced by the very gem insurgents that had taken a precious loved one from her on the very same planet where it all had happened. For thousands of years, Blue had mourned the loss of Pink Diamond, whom she held very near and dear to her. As a diamond, there are only so many presences you could have ever been close with, that being other diamonds and the pearls under each diamond. But then again, based on what has been alluded of her relationship with White Diamond, I guess we can kinda cross her inclusion out. But yeah, my point being, the loss of Pink Diamond took a massive toll on Blue and is something that she has had to bear for millennia, constantly blaming herself for what has happened. And so for Lapis to brush all of these immense tragic feelings off for the sake of a cool moment feels a little wrong. And beyond Blue Diamond, what of the crystal gems? Pearl, who has been through the emotional ringer due to all things rose quartz, blaming herself for the loss of countless friends and innocent gems due to her involvement in the fake shattering of Pink Diamond, dealing with the continued suffering of gems caught in the crossfire for thousands of years, or even Garnet and the strength of the love that she is made up of. For Lapis to strive in this situation as they struggle is just odd. The worst thing that this instance can do is imply the quantification of sorrow. Everyone is different, and so our pain, our sadness, the lengths to which it takes to reach them, and the depths to which they extend are different. We are all dealing with the pains and joys of life at all times. Emotional pain isn't some pissing contest. Saying something like, "I've been through worse than you, suck it up," is insensitive and a complete disregard of someone's emotions and/or struggles. Lapis doesn't do that, mind you, and frankly, even if she did, in this case, Blue Diamond is her adversary, so I doubt she'd care all that much. But in terms of underlying messages and the representation of the themes and pains associated with the character, this is bad. And it's bad in terms of audience takeaway. I know a lot of people carry the notion that I hate Lapis, but I don't. I mean, I have a hard enough time hating people in real life, let alone this fictional character. But you know, the real life issues this character has been intended to portray and represent are incredibly important to me and many others, which is one of the reasons why I care about this character so much, at least on paper. Her actions can very much be toxic at times, but that too may be considered a part of the representation. In the past, I've pointed certain things out, but at the end of the day, in many cases, such behavior is realistic. And so the major issues I have here mainly lie within the lack of repercussions and responsibility tied to such behavior within both the story itself and the perception of the viewership at large. But really, if it's not that clear to you, Lapis honestly didn't do anything wrong in this episode, so don't think I'm finding fault with her in this one. I just found her inclusion in this episode to be interesting, and I feel like the pacing of recovery when it comes to such deeply rooted emotional issues should be gradual and not relegated to a cool stunt for a cool episode. But that's just me being super opinionated as always, and as always, I want to know how you feel about all of this. Beyond a Star, what are you looking forward to seeing from Lapis and her inclusion in the story going forwards? Let me know in the comments. And actually, as of this recording, we have surpassed 200,000 subscribers on this channel, and it is an incredible feeling. I really can't thank you all enough for the love and support you have shown me for what in 2 months will have been 2 years here on YouTube. I'm not really sure how to go about celebrating this, so let me know how you'd all feel about a possible Q&A. I've never done one, but something I always think about is making my content feel inclusive and building a connection with all of you, so I think it could be a lot of fun. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching and have an awesome day. I love you.